Now, a little while ago, I rescued this computer from a ditch in the middle of the winter. It was gross and disgusting, but I rescued it and got it to work. I also upgraded a few of the parts, put a quad core in there, and added a GTX 1050. So I had a working computer now, and on a nice little rainy day, I thought, hey, let's put this in an Xbox. Now, the motherboard was a Micro ATX board, so it was a little bit big to fit in the case. It just fit, but there's no room for a power supply. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna have another ingenious idea. I'm gonna use extensions that will allow me to hook up a regular ATX power supply on the outside and use the regular ATX as basically a power brick that rests somewhere externally. I haven't seen anybody do this, so I thought this was a pretty unique idea. And the only thing is that as it's the power supplies on the outside, it does look a little bit bulky, and it's not as clean as I would like it because there's wires all over the place. And here's a shot of just some of the internals and how everything fits in there. Thermally, it's fine. I have two fans that help with the ventilation. This is my current setup now with the gaming Xbox, and I do have now a 400 watt Corsair. It's a newer one because it has a 120mm fan on it, a lot quieter than the original one that came with the ditch computer. I have my external hard drive going there that has the games on there. Although this works here, this works perfectly fine here. I kind of wanted it to be a more compact design, more of a sleek design rather than having a bunch of things on the outside. So after a bit of brainstorming, I came up with this idea. I put the power supply in a cookie tin. I found a cookie tin that was about the right size. It was the same height as a power supply. It gave enough room for some extra cables, and I just simply had to do some cutouts to get all the cables in and get the power supply breathing. So there's a hole on the bottom for the 120mm fan to take air in and blow it out. Also needed to make some feet though for the power supply. I had some old plexiglass, so I decided to use that kind of as a light feature to make it a little bit more interesting. I just have this plexiglass cut. It's okay that there's scratches on the top because it's not going to show at all. I left it just sanded and not polished, so I didn't use the torch on this because I just like this sanded look. And just testing to see how the LEDs will look. Once I'm happy, just solder them up, and actually I did have a lot of LEDs there, and I ended up reducing them because they were way too bright. I used this Molex connector to power it up. I was going to use PVC pipe. This is just a 1/2-inch pipe. Didn't have enough though, so I was going to cut it into the height that I wanted. This would have been perfect. So instead I used bottle caps and these acorn kind of nut protectors, and just glued them together, painted it all black, and pretty much it's almost done. So far I've been running it for hours and playing games like Fortnite or Black Ops or any Call of Duty games, and it's been okay. So I'm not too worried about the thermals at this point. You can see there's a little bit of an underglow underneath the box as well. I'm probably going to put a bit of a logo there. Other than that, pretty happy with the way it turned out. Let's play some games. I don't know the FPS while I'm playing this particular game, Fortnite, but it's doing fairly well. I find that it's actually quite comfortable to play. The frame rate seems actually pretty good. You'll see that it's quite different in Black Ops. It doesn't really, even though it says it's 60 FPS, it doesn't really seem that great. Either way, right now the game is really playable and enjoyable, and I love it. The only problem is when I go into squads, everybody dies too fast. I don't mind myself. So see, I just got Black Ops pretty much just on the optimal settings, which is really just the low settings. This is a 720p monitor. It seems okay because it says about 60 FPS for the most part, but I find it quite, I don't know, it's not quite smooth. This is definitely not the setup I want to use to play such a kind of a fast-paced game like this. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you kind of enjoyed this kind of different take on how to solve the power supply problem for such a small build. You know, using a Pico power supply often doesn't give you enough power. Fitting in a power supply with the Micro ATX board, it just will not really work that well. So this, for me, works well, and I think it looks decent. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I hope.